I think that, silver is going to struggle, and we just need that to change. But we need, more people to talk about it, or we're going to have a supply crunch where, the Teslas of the world, just simply have to stop production because they can't get silver. I'm curious where the silver is going to come from, and based on the numbers that we know, 1.2 billion ounces of silver was consumed last year. And the estimate is somewhere around 1.4 billion of consumed this year. Those are pretty significant deficits.
Keith Neumeyer, the CEO of First Majestic Silver, raises concerns about the existing challenges facing the silver market. He emphasizes the need for greater attention and awareness regarding these issues. Silver production has been declining in recent years due to various factors, including the depletion of existing silver mines and the increasing cost of mining silver. Neumeyer cautions that if more people don't start discussing the silver situation, there could be a supply shortage that affects industries like electric vehicles, where silver is essential. Last year, demand for silver surged by 18% to a record high of 1.24 billion ounces against a stagnant supply, stretching the market deficit to a second straight year, as reported by the Silver Institute in its latest publication. According to the 2023 World Silver Survey, the global silver market was undersupplied by 237.7 million ounces in 2022, which the Institute says is possibly the most significant deficit on record. Neumeyer highlights the uncertainty surrounding the future availability of silver. The estimates indicate a consumption of around 1.4 billion ounces of silver, resulting in a deficit between supply and demand. However, silver production has remained relatively stagnant over the past decade, fluctuating within a specific range. The renowned analyst views silver as a strategic metal vital in various industries such as electronics and renewable energy, solar panels. Despite the global push for green energy and reduced reliance on fossil fuels, silver was not included in a recent U.S. government list of the top 50 strategic metals. Neumeyer sees this as a sign that more effort is needed to raise awareness about silver's significance in the evolving industrial landscape. Now let's watch excerpts from Keith Neumeyer's interview with Soar Financially. Before we start, smash that subscribe button and remember to enable post notifications to stay updated on our latest uploads. Thank you and enjoy the video.
Looking at the numbers, which quite honestly, I'm not a big fan of the numbers because I think they're all made up. But we know what production is, and production's basically flatlined. For the last 10 years, it's fluctuated between COVID year 2020, about 780 million to a peak of about 880 million in 2016. Last year, we were about 830 million, I think, from memory. So, call it 800 to 850 million ounces of silver that the mining sector has produced, pretty well flatline for the last decade. And I don't see that increasing dramatically. Even if Escobal or comes back online, that's only 20 million ounces. And what asset out there, what mine out there is going to add significant metal? I don't know of any big zinc mines or copper mines that are coming online, with any silver. No, even gold mines, the ones that are coming online in Ontario over the next couple of years, they don't have any silver. So, where the heck this silver is coming from? I have no clue, because I can't see it anywhere. We've got the big hoards in the ETFs, but outside of that, of course, there's the governments. The Russians probably own some silver, and I remember a famous photograph of Putin holding a bar of gold in one of the vaults somewhere in Russia. And if you look closely at this photograph, on the back wall, there's all these pallets of silver. So, this is government-owned, silver. They don't tell you how much they own, but who knows? And I'm sure the Chinese or the Indians, they also own silver. So, whether they're supplying it to the market, no one knows. I'm quite critical of the Silver Institute, and First Majestic is not a member of the Silver Institute because of the fact I think they do an incredibly poor job in selling silver and selling what silver is. Silver is a strategic metal. I don't look at silver as a precious metal. I know it's precious, of course, and I'm not saying it's not precious. I just don't look at it. And when I think of precious, I think of currency. I think of gold as currency, as a granddaddy of currency. And I look at silver as a strategic metal, a metal that we need to do a call like this, whatever it may be, whether it's EVs or solar panels or or whatever the case may be, computers, all the electronics, pretty well everything we do on a daily basis requires silver. And with the world wanting to go green and get off, oil and gas, which of course is going to take decades to do, but in order to get there, we need copper and silver. And so, anyways, I'm super bullish on the metal, but the U.S. Government just came out with a list of the top 50 strategic metals. I think it was about 2 or 3 months ago. I'm not sure if you saw it, but silver was not on that list. And I said, "Well, WTF? Like, why would silver not be on that list?" And there was metals on that list that I'd never even heard of. They're in the periodic table, of course, but metals that most people wouldn't even know what they are. So I was so of course the Silver Institute saw that, and it's embarrassing for them that the silver didn't show up on this critical list, because it should be there. And as long as there's not a view, as long as people on the street that continually look at silver as a poor man's gold.
Neumeyer highlights a significant factor influencing silver's price: the paper market's dominance. He explains that the trading of silver in the paper market is substantial, with approximately 1 billion ounces traded daily. In comparison, the mining sector produces around 850 million ounces annually. This disconnection between paper trading and actual physical production has led to a situation where investors can purchase huge amounts of silver in the paper market without causing a significant shift in price. Neumeyer believes that it would benefit the mining sector to create a new way of determining the price of silver. This new method should be distinct from the current system relying heavily on paper-based transactions. According to Neumeyer, if more mining companies deliberately shift away from participating in the paper market, the banks currently holding significant control over the silver supply might lose some of their influence. By reducing the reliance on paper-based trading and taking steps towards a more direct and tangible pricing mechanism, the silver market could become more balanced and less susceptible to the control of a few powerful entities. Let's get back to the interview.
The price action, it's at least in the mid-20s, and it's a decent number. We do okay at this price. We're not making scads of money, as some of the gold players are. The margins on gold right now are much better than the margins on silver. And we're only mining 7 to 1. So for every 1 ounce of gold the miners are mining, we're only mining 7 ounces of silver, yet we're trading at something like 80 to 1, which makes no sense to me at all. But it just goes back to the fact that silver is a very paper driven price, very affected by paper. The silver paper market trades approximately 1 billion ounces a day. And you think about that for a second, because the mining sector produces 850 million ounces a year, and we're trading 1 billion a day in paper. So, if you as an investor, you have the money, assuming you want to go and buy 100 million ounces of silver, you might decide to go into the paper market to buy it. And you might not even move the price, because some bank just writes you the contract and say, here's your 100 million ounces or dollars, $100 million worth of silver. And it's nonsensical that they're allowed to do that, but they do. And they get short, and then when they know the buying will end at some point, as the Reddit crowd proved to us. And they put a wall in place at $30, and then the price, just no matter how much buying came into the market, they just wouldn't allow it to go higher. And then the second the buying stops, they start smashing the market down to get all these investors out of the market and buy all the paper back. And it's almost criminal in a way, but this is the way the market is. And I've been advocating for quite some time that the mining sector has to come up with a different pricing mechanism for the metal, and I'm trying my best by pushing our metal through mints and taking our metal off the banking system, but it's so easy. For the mining sector, it's a simple process. We produce our metal, we pick up the phone, and a trader takes it from us, and it goes into the banking system, and it goes into industry, and the mining company gets paid within 2 or 3 days of that metal leaving the gates of their mine, and it works out well. It puts a smile on everyone's face, but they're not thinking that, hey, there's a whole mechanism behind this that's affecting the price, because these banks know how much metal is coming, and they know how to hedge it, and they know how they can margin it, and when you know what the supply is going to be, you know what your limit is on the paper market, and it's kind of screwed up. So if the miners would actually start pulling some of their metal out of the current system, then all of a sudden the banks wouldn't know if they're going to get the metal or not, and then all of a sudden they wouldn't be taking the same risk that they're taking today, in the paper markets.
Silver fell to $23.50 per ounce mark, hovering around the one-month low, as traders took a cautious approach ahead of the U.S. inflation release and after the country's mixed jobs report. Solar panel companies are expected to make up 14% of global silver consumption, compared to 5% in 2014. What do you think influences the price fluctuations of silver in the market? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you found this video informative, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and enable notifications to stay informed about our latest videos on silver, gold, and copper. Thank you for watching, and we appreciate your support.